With that, I want to yield the balance of my time to Mr. Biggs, who's been on the front lines in Arizona on this issue from the very beginning.
I thank the gentleman for yielding, and I thank the chair today for having this hearing. You know, the Democrats really can't have it both ways, can they? I mean, really, can they have it both ways? You cannot say that the audit showed the integrity of the election, while at the same time claiming that the mere fact of an audit in and of itself is a threat existentially to our democracy. You can't do that. It's a fallacious, logical inconsistency. If, as you claim, by the way, a claim I dispute, that the election was fair and properly conducted, a complete forensic audit ought to demonstrate that, which is what you assert. That's what you are asserting here today. But at the same time, you're saying, well, while the audit confirms what we think it did, when you cherry pick some of the statements from the audit report, you're also saying that an audit undermines the election integrity. Do you see the inconsistency of your position? If there are questions as to the accuracy of the election, a forensic audit will reveal the questionable outcomes and problems that need to be cured going forward, and the legitimacy of the election may be compromised. Dems and leftists have been highly critical of this audit even before it began. They had an agenda, and the chairwoman mentioned this agenda today, so that all of you are participating here, you can support this agenda. She said they don't think legislative changes should be made. That's what she said. That's why we're doing this today, because they think any legislative changes are not appropriate. Well, in 2018, in Maricopa County, most of you may not know this, there was such problems with the Maricopa County election that the Democrat county recorder, who is the elections official for the county, Adrian Fontes, got to go under scrutiny by this Board of Supervisors, the 2018 Board of Supervisors, who took everything back from him that they possibly could legally and statutorily. That's the history of problems in Maricopa County in our voting. Looking from the outside, the election process in Maricopa County was fraught with problems. If your claim was that the audit wasn't in order, you must acknowledge several broad observations of the auditors that they made with regard to this audit. It's everything from procedure and conduct or misconduct on the part of the board and specific elected officials. You cannot argue that the question regarding election integrity from the right is an attack on our democracy, our constitutional republic, especially after 4 years of the Democrats claiming that the 2016 presidential election was stolen because of Russian interference. Here's what a member of this committee said. Mr. Raskin from Maryland said, quote, "I would love to challenge the Electoral College vote because our election was badly tainted by everything from cyber sabotage by Vladimir Putin to deliberate voter suppression by Republicans in numerous swing states." That's what he said. And we went through literally 4.5 years, right up to the start of the November voting, the early balloting in Arizona, of Hillary Clinton and her supporters in the media saying that the 2016 election was stolen by Republicans. It is no secret that if you go back and look at polling data, everything from the Bush v. Gore era forward, the party whose candidate was not successful asserted that the election was not fair and impartial. No secret. Every polling outlet from that point, 2001, right on up to 2020, claimed that. I advocated for a full forensic audit because I felt like election integrity should be restored. One of the biggest things that I find problematic here is that the two statutory minimum audits committed to by the County Board of Supervisors that were done could have been easily expanded in a timely fashion to a full forensic audit. It chose not to do it. spent $18,000 for those 2 audits, but spent literally hundreds of thousands of dollars, multiple lawsuits to prevent the audit that we're discussing today. And ultimately, the bottom line is we're here because this chairwoman and the Democrats don't want to see any kind of legislative change. I believe that there needs to be legislative change probably in Arizona. I don't know what's going on in other states, but other folks tell me that in their states there needs to be legislative change too. That's why we're here, is because the chairwoman would like to see legislative change scuttled. And I, for the life of me, don't understand why this committee thinks that it has the constant obligation to interfere in what is patently a state issue. With that, Madam Chair, I thank you and I yield back.